I can see you.
Okay, I can see you. We can see each other now. Goodness. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my phone, but we're gonna figure this out.
No,
Who
it
is
could
real
be
pretty
the
brown
service. It could be
skin?
my phone. Who knows what it was? But we are here. So, boom.
We are here. Look at God. Thank you. Hi, pretty red brown skin. Of course I miss you. Whoever that may be. You must know me personally because you spelled my name right. So yes, I miss you. But anyway, you want to wait a few minutes for more to join, or what we want to do?
Or whatever you want to do. I mean, you know how I do. I just go with the flow. Whatever I feel is what I do. So whatever you feel, parent, I'm with you with it. I'm just wondering on my page, which I should have signed on Instagram, my other phone, if it shows that I'm live. But if not, hey, it'll be okay. You know, we'll be on your platform, and we told them to follow you. We've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks now, so it is.
Yes, and if you guys are not already, please follow Morgan. I love me some Morgan. Morgan and I, we must have been sisters in another lifetime.
We definitely are.
So thank you guys for your time. We'll probably give you about a few more seconds or whatever. But anyway, thank y'all for joining our live tonight. Morgan and I have been knowing each other. How long you been at
Okay,
for a
so
long
I've
time?
been,
That's all y'all need to know.
yeah, I've been at the job for 19 years, but I feel like me and you have known each other at least, I feel like 12 to 15.
Yeah. Yes. 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 We've been knowing each other a long time. And we just had a conversation one day about kids, and it was like, dang, you would have thought that we really raise our kids the same. So it was only right that we do this because we felt like we was the only people that have these issues, but reality we don't. Like, it's not saying nothing wrong as far as like mothers who have daughters don't have different life, different things, but it's something different about when you're raising a son. You just be like, you can't be too hard, you can't be too soft. Like, you got to find a balance. So when I conversated with Morgan, it was always like, dang, she gets it. Like, okay, I like this. I like this. So I had been playing around with it for a while, and I was like, man, I had a list of a couple other people, but I was like, I don't know. And then it just kept dropping in my spirit. Morgan, ask Morgan, ask Morgan. And I asked her, she was like, yes. I was like, look at God, look at God. So this is Morgan, guys. And make sure you are
Oh,
following her at Morgan Stubb on Instagram.
thank
You want
you,
to introduce yourself,
Queen.
Morgan?
Ooh, okay. Okay, so yes, I'm Morgan, and I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, but I definitely am over 40. I have a soon-to-be 19-year-old. I have two goddaughters as well, so I'm still hands down a boy mom. Okay, he's my one and only, and we are right there still in the parenting stage. So if you got middle school, younger ones. My mom told me, but I really didn't realize it, that parenting doesn't stop. So, in a nutshell, I mean, like me, that's me. I'm just a parent. I know it sounds silly. I'm still trying to find out who I am without having someone 24 hours in the house to take care of. I found a little bit of myself this last year, but I'm pretty easygoing. So, I don't know what much more to say about myself here.
You forgot to tell him the most important part. Wait, what school he go to, Morgan?
Oh, oh, he goes to FAMU, so he goes to Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University. And is he partying? Not quite. He's not that type of kid, but we definitely had to reel some things back in. Thank you, Miss Fine. I appreciate you saying I'm beautiful. You're beautiful too, hun.
Yes, he is in the March of 100 and stuff. I was like, Morgan, we going down to the homecoming. They ain't gonna tell us that we can't party, but I love it. I love it. I really do. So, if you don't know me, Morgan's friends, or anybody else, I'm Farron. I have two sons, 20 and 9. Let me make sure I get it right because they just had birthdays and they checked me the other day. But they're 20 and 9. Um, the joke everybody always say, what were you thinking? Well, I wasn't, okay? In my grandmother's voice, as happens, okay? But nevertheless, I like what Morgan said as far as like parenting don't stop. I was having a conversation with my older sister maybe a year or two ago, and she was like, listen, the easy part is done. Like, once you get them through everything where you can control them and everything, and not control them, but you guide them as their kids or whatever, that's the easy part. The hard part is once they turn that age of 18 and they out here in this world, yeah, that's when parenting really kicks in because now You can't control the environments they're in. You can't control who they're talking to. You can't control the school. You can't control the friends. And it's like you have to trust that everything that you've taught them, they're going to use it. And that's the scariest part, because now they interact with a bunch of other people that you just like, yo, I would have never let you talk to them. Like, you wouldn't even been in that same circle. So I do believe, like, the 20-year-old, I feel like, okay, I really got to parent you more than this 9-year-old over here, because you'll be exposed to things, people, and places like, yeah, I don't know how to tell you how to get out of that one, but we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. So that's pretty much, yeah. I have 2 kids. I'm a mom. I'm an author. I'm learning to say I'm more than a mom and start doing my other titles or whatever. And my sister be on me like, tell the people you're an author, tell them this and tell them that. Yeah, I'm just not like that. I'm just not like, tell you everything, you got to get to know me. But I do enjoy being a mom. I do enjoy hanging with moms, with boys, especially because they get it. Like, I think it's safe to say me and Morgan kind of parent the same, as far as, like, if you know me, my kids kind of free will. My cousin called me a hippie. She like, you do the hippie life. Cause I'm just like, listen, we got enough to stress about. So, if they got to say a few words, get it over with, done. But that's me.
Yes, ma'am. You definitely is an author, so you better show your book during our live several different times. But we just want to thank y'all all for joining our new adventure last year. So my page is private, so I know a lot of people didn't see it, but my followers. But I was telling Farron, like, I just started kind of, as my son was journeying into college life, I just had a lot of different emotions. And so for me, I never really did lies, to be honest, but I do understand why people do them now, because you do find somewhat comfort in, like, expressing yourself out loud. Other people are honestly feeling the same way. So I kind of started blogging his journey from high school to his freshman year up in Tallahassee. And so it's funny you say that, fan, like how we was just saying, like, the 19-year-olds and the 20-year-olds, they need just as much as parenting. And I call it also like guiding from the side, right? Different phases. Definitely could touch more into that another live with you guys. But I ran into one of our ex co-workers at Sales Club on Friday, and she also had a freshman up in Tallahassee this last year. And she was like, man, she was like, I'm doing more parenting now than I ever did. I was like, you're not alone. She said she's hopefully going to join our live. I was like, but you're not alone. I was like, it's real. And it's funny, like, I find myself being my mother now. That's the best way I could describe it. Because I clearly remember her telling me with my brother, like, you never stop being a parent. I'm like, yeah, like, when they get this age now, this. Nah, it's real.
That's for sure. Like, you don't realize, say, just like the other night, he was going to do something. I was like, well, where you going? Who you going with? How long you going to be gone? And it's like, yeah, you're 20. However, like, I don't want that knock at the door. I don't want that phone call. So it's like, it may look like I'm trying to hold on, which in a way I am a little bit, because and honestly, if you are a parent, you understand it's harder to let go as they get older. Like, you try to peel back a little bit at a time, like, okay, all right, let them take a walk. Let them do this, let them do that. But it's like, yo, now in the world we live in, the climate, everything, you be like, look here, can you just sit right here, like right here on my lap? Like, don't move. Because this way I know what's going on, who you're around, who you're not around. But like you said, it's like, if you got older kids, you start to really look around and like, yo, it's a lot out here for them to get into. It's a lot for them to be a part of. It's a lot for them to just, and they don't know. They don't know. Like, they just out here just like, okay, whatever. And it's like, yo, I don't know if it's that they're not trained or if they just think things can't happen. But it's just like, oh no, I'm not worried about that. Or maybe it's just being a mother over analyzing, thinking about so much of what can go wrong until you be like, okay, you know what? Baron, stop. Just stop. Because now you create scenarios that may not even happen. But I feel like it only happens. Something just triggered from him turning 17 to 18. And he not one of them kids to be out there doing all this other stuff. And I get it, but it's still like, I don't know though. I don't know who you kicking it with. I don't know them. So I do feel like parenting is, and I hate to hear parents say, "Oh, they're 18, they grown." No, they don't even have a clue.
I
Like,
mean, if we really think about our own young adult selves, and even now, just to be honest, like, I saw you and your mom in the car the other day. Like, when something's hit the roof here, I'm calling my mom at 44. So I go ahead and drop my age. At 44, I'm calling my mom. I'm not calling my significant other. I'm not calling my dad. I'm not calling my brother, my sister. I'm calling my mom because that's the one who. And hats off to you, dads, if any dads are following. This is no shade to you guys. I think it's just some natural instinct with most kids to call their mom first. But I only can speak for me, and that's just like my first instincts. And I actually consider myself having a very close relationship with my dad too. But when stuff hits the roof, I'm calling my mom.
oh, I'm calling. I'm listen. She be like, "Don't call 5053." I'm calling 5053 before I can even pick up the phone. Hello, because this is what's going on. Like, I need you to either have a solution or listen. Like, it's that's just what it is. Now I can't say because my sons be like that too. I'm like, bro, like figure it out. But at the same time, it's like you don't ever want to not answer or them not to figure it out. But I'd be like, bro, and I had to tell him as he was transitioning. I was like, listen, I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes. I'm not saying you're not going to do certain things, right? I'm saying make smart, reasonable decisions. Because at the end of the day, one, the day got to end, and two, some of these mistakes is going to cost me. Well, I got to come clean it up. I got to come make it right. I got to do this. I got to do that. If we can avoid it, let's avoid it. I don't
You
want
said a mouthful there.
yes, if we can avoid it, let's avoid it. But I know you're going to do some stupid stuff. I know you're going to do this and you're going to do that. I got that. But this other stuff where it's gonna cost me, where I got to go out here and figure out how to do some extra stuff. Nah, we ain't gotta do that. We ain't gotta do that. We ain't gotta do that.
I love what you said. And it's so funny. I saw a post about a week ago, and I'm trying to find it real quick. I kind of know what it says, but I want to read it verbatim. But it pretty much speaks to allowing kids to make mistakes. So actually, hold on, I got it right here. Come on, thing. So it says, unfortunately, no matter how much you preach to your kids, sometimes life just has to teach them. Now, a lot of mothers were saying they disagreed. And when I sat there and I really thought about it, Farron, I was like, you know what? I understand. And I'm going to say, this is what I mean by that. I'm going to teach mine as much as I possibly can. I really am. And I'm always trying to be one or two steps ahead of Rance, two steps behind him. I'm always thinking, like you said, what could go right, what could go wrong, right? I'm trying to prepare him. But realistically, some things I am starting to understand in life is he's not gonna get it until something happens, may it be good or bad, and even good, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say more of the bad where he can get the lesson out of it. And I'm not talking about nothing extreme, right? I'm just simple things, just to be honest. Like, for example, go get your oil change, right? That's one. That's where we're at the phase right now. Like every year, and I'm gonna bring it all together for y'all. Every year, my goal once Prince hit 12 was to teach him a new skill. That was important to me. I don't know what clicked in my mind, and I felt like he already had some tools, but I remember clearly at 12, I want to teach him a new skill every year. So this year he's taking his car back to Tallahassee, and I went and got the oil change for him because I happened to be taking care of some other stuff, and I was like, hey, I got the car, let me go ahead and do it. Well, when we got home, I showed him the sticker. I'm like, hey, these are the miles. This is when you need to go get your oil change, like right before, no, or right at that point, right? I'm like, because if you don't, your car, the gasket could blow its head, right? So
Right.
I taught him, I'm teaching him. I've already taught him how to check the oil, make sure there's oil in there, even though people change the oil. But realistically, if you don't go do it, the lesson may be learned, the engine gets blown, and now you don't have a car. So when I read that, and I'm going to read it again for those who just joined, I was like, I do get it because sometimes you can give your kids all the skills. You can want them not to encounter anything negative. or harmful. But for some kids, not all kids, sometimes they don't get it into the lesson happens. So once again, it said, unfortunately, no matter how much you preach to your kids, sometimes life just has to teach them. And I mean, a lot of people were like, no, not mine. And I was like, is that slightly, and guys, you could definitely disagree, right? This is a me and Farron might disagree sometimes with some of the things we think. This is an open forum, just our own personal opinions. There's no book to parenting, and for most of y'all who parents, y'all already know how it goes. But realistically, sometimes you do something has to cause an effect for some people, even adults, to get the lesson out of it. It, like I said, it could be the small things from saving money to your lights getting turned off, or save or not saving money, this for emergencies. But I thought about that. I'm like, we're in a day of age, and I only can speak for me, where I've always wanted to prevent anything bad or negative from happening to Rance. I don't know why that is. I can't tell you why. I don't know if it's a parent thing, is it a generational thing, is it a both thing? But I'm at that point now where I have to say, teach him what I say, teach him how to fish, and
Yep.
he'll, it's kind of like that mentality, right? Like you can't just give, or if you give, but if they're not taking heed to what you're saying, sometimes the lesson just has to be taught some type of way. That's just my 2 cents on it. I hope I didn't ramble. I hope y'all kind of got what I'm really trying to say.
No, I like that. I really do. I remember I posted something years ago because I had seen a post, right? And it was saying, it was a video. I'll have to find it. But anyway, the guy was saying, as a parent, you have authority over your kids, but you don't have influence. And I was like, what? That don't make sense. He was like, you have authority, but you don't have influence. And so it took me a while to get it. And I was like, you know what? That's right. Like we can tell them because, we're old. We don't know. We've never ventured into this. I'll give them a pass that some of the stuff they're facing, we've never seen it. Right.
100%.
And I remember a lady in the nail shop told me, was like, listen, you raise your baby, you got to raise him for somewhere that you don't know that exists. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a world that you don't know that's there. You want me to prepare somebody for something that I don't know? Okay, whatever that may be. All right, we're going to figure that out later on. But it really put it in perspective for me that I have authority over you because I've been given authority to take care of you, provide for you, do this, do that, right? But when it comes down, do I have influence over you? No, because you're going to watch what I do, not what I say. And when I say influence, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, social media this. Yeah, social media do a lot. And you're right. The rappers, the singers, this and that has influence over them. But you still have the final line of the authority thing. And I was just like, hey, okay, that's a fine line to have to walk to understand that, yeah, no, it's not going, they're not, once they get bigger, they're going to look around and be like, well, you told me this, that, but that ain't what you showed me. So then it's like, okay, reality check. Listen, do what I say, not as I do. And I used to hear people, that was one of those things I hated growing up. Do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're saying because I'm too busy watching what you're doing. And that was like a real gut check for me to be like, hey, are your words lining up? Because again, I give my kids free range. So if I'm off my game, they'll pull my coattail real quick. Like
100%.
real quick.
But what you just said, when you think about it, it is somewhat of an influence, even though we don't think of it. When I think of it that way, because honestly, like I was thinking that the other day too, like they say kids are always watching, but they really are watching. I mean, from the smallest thing to the goodest thing to the baddest thing. Like since Rance has been working this summer, if I'm upstairs, I usually come downstairs right away. Like how was your day? Like a little debrief. Like we haven't seen each other for 12 hours. Like how's your day? So one day I was really sleepy. Like I think it was last week, and I didn't come downstairs. And he said that to me. He's like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah." What do you mean? He's like, "You always come downstairs to greet me." And when I laid there, I was like, wow, like he noticed that. You know, I didn't think he noticed it, to be honest. I really didn't, because that's just the natural instinct, caring part of me. It's not even a mother thing, just to be honest with you. It's a natural, caring, giving type of thing, person I am. Like, that's just how I am in general. So when he said that, I was like, dang, like he's still paying attention when I don't think that he's paying attention. Now, what is it going to influence in his life? Maybe one day when he gets married or one day when has kids. Like, I don't know. That kind of like just kind of stuck in the back of my head. Like he's still paying attention. So Morgan, things that you know you probably shouldn't be doing, or things that you don't want him to do. How can I tell him not to do when I'm doing it? And that is a very hard line for me, to be honest, because you're right, we do have authority. And I have to remind him at the end of the day, I am still your parent. And yes, you do have, and I know you like this too, Farron, like we allow our boys to communicate with us in a manner that other people may not allow their kids. But for me, there's still a fine line too. Like, and I have to
Right.
remind him, like, hey, yes, I'm your mother. And I used to say I wasn't his friend, but he is my friend and I'm his friend. But I'm your mother. So certain things I have to remind him this isn't an option. Even at going on 19, guys, yes, certain things in my house is not an option, just to be honest with y'all. That's just me. And I raise rents with a little bit of old school and new school. And I know one day he's gonna reflect back and say, "Hey, I wish you did this, Mom. I wish you did that." Just like we did with our parents, right? I will say it over and over. There's no book to this, but I do think that we can learn from each other. We can learn from our kids. We can learn from our past, and that's just where I'm at. Like I'm always just trying to grow as a person and still as a mother.
That's that's so real what you said. Like learn from your kids, because I tell I've always had the mindset that anything can teach me something, right? Um, if a rock can teach me something, I'm gonna learn this lesson. I'm gonna learn it, right? So I'm not. I hate when parents are not open to learn that you can learn something from your child, right? So I always joke. I have two sons, two different. If I put them together, you'll think they twins or whatever, right? But they're two different people. I like personalities, two different people, and I always joke. I say, because I'm like, I'm not really. Don't get in my space. Don't ask to be in my space. Ask to touch me. Ask to do certain things. So something happened and the oldest Telson was like, well, something happened to the fact with Chance or whatever. That's the little one. And he was crying. He was like, man, what's wrong with you? You're not fair and son. Like, we don't cry. We don't do that. Like, you better man up. Like, get your chest out. But then in Chance, like, no, I wanna feel this emotion. I wanna do this, I wanna do that. And I always joke, I'm like, yo, I got the same kid, just two different people at two different points in my life.
Mm.
Because when I look at it like with Telson, it's like, yo, hey, yeah, you my kid, whatever, I love you, but don't roll up on me too fast. Don't come jump on me too fast. Don't try to love on me a little too quick because I was just at a different point in life back then. Whereas now it's like Chance, like, bro, you got to touch every time. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, like, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? Okay, you got the best of both worlds. But I said that to say that Telson had to remind me, was like, listen, you got to do better. Like, you got to do better in this and do better in that. And if I was that type of parent where it's just like I rule with authority, I'm a dictator and everything, I wouldn't have listened. I wouldn't have accepted it. I wouldn't have been open to his feedback because it did make me look at things a little bit different. Like, oh, okay. So Telson, you don't like to be touched either, and that's only because that's what you've been taught. But there's a different way that you ask him to be touched. So I get it now. So sometimes he might just come lay his head on me. Okay, he might want a little love and affection. Got it. But if I didn't listen, if I want one of them parents to listen to my kid, then it'd be like, you thought like, oh, he come from a bad mommy situation. No, it's just, I feel like as parents, like you said, there's no right or wrong. There's no ups or downs. It's no rule book to being a parent, right? But one thing I do tell parents, just listen. Like, be open to a conversation with your kids. Let them be open to tell you how they feel. You might just find out that you might think, oh, their favorite color is yellow. No, their favorite color is black. It's
We so
black.
quick to think we know everything about our kids, but realistically, we don't. We know a lot about them, but kids change just like we change. And for those who just joined or kind of been joining us, so we decided to call this Boy Oh Boy because we are boy moms, and this is definitely open to anybody, but we really want to speak to the boy moms, to the boy dads, and it made me just think about when you were saying like feelings and touching. So it made me think about how like most boys are raised to not be affectionate to a certain degree, or emotional, or have emotions. And I posted this last week because I found on somebody else's page, which pretty much they were saying like it's okay for men or boys to cry. It's okay for them to be expressive instead of being considered being aggressive. Right? So don't go, I'm not gonna go too deep with y'all, but I'm gonna say this: there's a time and a place for everything, right? And so Rance is a lot like me. And it's interesting, and people don't believe that because I don't show that side of me, but I'm a very affectionate and emotional person. But that's because I give a lot. And
Right.
he's like that. He's so much, he's very passionate, he's very caring, he's very giving. So he's very expressive, very, very much. And I can remember like my cousins kind of saying that about me too, but I didn't realize it at that age. But now I look back, I'm like, dang, like Rance, he has a lot of me and his dad. But his dad's a little bit more tough, just to call it what it is. And I get it, like his dad want him to be a little bit more tough because number one, he's a black male. Okay, let's just no shade. If you any other race in this, we only can speak to what we know and what we see and just the truth. Okay, and Rance is a big, tall, dark skinned black man at that. Okay, where
He's
people
so
would think
handsome.
that he's in his 20s when he's only not even 19 yet. So I'm saying all this to say is like I've been teaching him, especially when he got ready to go off to college, was like, don't always show your emotions. I want you to still express them, but don't show them in front of everyone. If you need to go walk off campus and scream somewhere and cry somewhere and holler, do that. Especially when it came to the marching band. I said, but don't let them see you cry. Because some people will look at that as a weakness. But realistically, I know why he's crying, to tell you the truth, because he's like me. When I cry, I'm holding back from hitting you, just to be honest, most of the time. Or I'm really hurt. It's one or the other. And a lot of times it's because I can't express the way I want to, so it comes out in tears. And he's a lot like that. And so but you have to get it out, right? Because you keep all that balled up, then what do you do with all those emotions, man or woman? But especially, I feel like boys, young black boys. That's just my personal opinion, because in society, it's already saying that they want us to act a certain way, or we are perceived a different way. And really, it's just us expressing ourselves, and they need to express themselves, guys. I will encourage you that if you are on here and you have a boy, let your child cry. I'm just gonna be honest, like let them get it out, because it doesn't mean that they're weak. It honestly means they may be frustrated, they may be mad, or they may just in the moment just like feel overwhelmed. Like that's another way. Like when I get very overwhelmed too, sometimes it could come out in tears, if that makes sense. But allow them just to express themselves, whatever that looks like, but in a respectful way too. And I say that because and I felt bad. I'm gonna give y'all a quick little story, and then if Eric cut me off if I'm going too much.
No, girl, go.
One day, Rance was up there in Tallahassee. So, guys, for those who don't know, Rance is my soon-to-be 19-year-old. He was just a freshman, and that was a big, big adjustment for me and him. So, going to back to the story, it was like midterms, I want to say, and he was walking across the street, and it was pretty late. I want to say it was probably around 12:30 at night, because the library pretty much is open 24 hours on campus. So when it's super dark, he would call me when he was walking back to his dorm, and he was already having, I guess, a very overwhelming day, like classes back to back, trying to get some studying in. And I heard it in his voice. I did. And as he was crossing the street, a car almost hit him. Now I did not know that. But all of a sudden, I hear all these cuss words on the phone, and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, hold on! Like, do you remember I'm on the phone with you? Like, I'm like, listen, you need to tone it down." And I remember saying that, and he was still going off. I was like, "Goodbye," click, and I hung up on him. And I had to calm down. And then I tried to call back a bunch of times, and he wouldn't pick up. And so I had to give him a moment, give myself a moment. And then he called back, and then he told me, he's like, "A car almost hit me, Mom." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'm sorry, a car almost hit you. Like I can only imagine how you felt, right?" I was like, "But in that moment, you should have just hung up on me, or said, let me call you back." I said, because there's still a lot of respect that I demand from you. But at the same time, I had to remember, like, in that moment, he didn't realize he was talking to his mom. He's just like, "I want to phone, this call almost hit me, beep, 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 beep." And I mean, y'all, he was dropping the F bombs, okay? And I was like, don't, I know Rance ain't no saint. I know that, trust me, y'all, because I hear him on these video games sometimes. I have to go in that room and remind him. But I don't know. Just, I really wish I could have captured that moment that y'all could saw the interaction that me and him had, how I had to rethink the process in the situation, and so did he. And so me and him both are still, even him coming back home this summer, had to work on some of our communication skills. Like, hey, okay, you've been up there adulting to a certain degree, conducting yourself a certain way, and that has nothing to do with cuss words. I'm just talking about as a whole. And I can't bring you back in this environment treating you like you're 15 or 16 either. But we both still have to have a line of respect for each other. And some people are okay with their kids cussing in front of them. Each is to their own, y'all. I'm telling y'all, once again, each is to their own. That's just me, but that's how I was raised too. Like to this day and age, I don't cuss in front of my mom. I just don't. But that's how we were raised. Now, some of my maybe aunts or uncles, they cool with it. They all right with it, and it's fine. But it's just, certain things I will allow. I will tolerate. Some things I won't, and some things we're finding a medium ground to.
I like that. I really do like that you gave him that space because I had a problem. Like, I know good and God darn, like, you know what? I'm gonna hang up because this ain't gonna go well for me or you, and that's just that. Like, whatever. But I think that's important. Like, sometimes you have to, as a parent, you got to know when to say, "I'm wrong. I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're probably not wrong a lot of the times. And it might just be my kids, but when I be wrong and they can back it up with facts, oh, they want to tell the mountaintop Jesus' best friend and his uncle. She was wrong. She gonna tell you she was wrong. I don't have a problem saying when I was wrong, right? Because I feel like our generation, right? We didn't have that conversational thing. Like it was like this, that. That's it. What I say is what goes, right? And not saying nothing against the parents because the parents only knew what they were taught and
100%.
told how to raise kids, right? Whereas with us, we like, look here, man, that didn't work out well because like I feel like I didn't have a voice, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, or whatever. And I always joke with my mom. I'd be like, you always be talking about these little kids got voices and they got personalities. Where was that when we was there? Where was that? Where was that?
It became
Like,
grandparents' parent is showing out.
and just showed out like it just done went left. Like, but it is like I don't I'm not one of those people that like cuss words, right? They have different meanings. The real meanings
Mm-hmm.
don't mean what we use them for, right? So depending on how they saying it and how they going with it, I'd be like, whoa, hey, wait, slow down, you doing a little too much. But for a lot of times I hear kids and I'd be like, boy, they some cussers. I don't promote it. I'm not against it. I don't promote it. But if they rolling them in the right way,
You all right with it?
I'm gonna just be if them things flowing like you've been around the cusser, you know what you're talking about. 9 out of 10, I'm gonna be like, don't do that in front of nobody else, okay? It's safe for me to, but don't in front of nobody else. Now I'm not saying I give my kids like, oh, they can cuss you out. No, but sometimes they'll be like, man, hell no. And if it fit for that moment, then I'd be like, okay. But then sometimes like, hey, come back, because you're going a little too far now. Come on back in. Come on back in. I about a couple months ago I went somewhere, right? And Chance think I don't know Chance cuss. Okay? I'm not a cusser. But if you get my timing right, I might roll a few of them
Same
off.
here.
Cool. And I get it, they be on the game. Cause I done heard some of these kids on the game. I'd be like, bro, y'all 9 years old, y'all 8 years, what the okay, you been around the cusser. Respect. And Telston must have did he was aggravating about something and I walked in. And Telston's like, I didn't say that because I just want to see how long they gonna go back and forth. When I tell you Chance was like selling out, like my brother being he's a I mean, I couldn't if I had to bleep it, I would have ran out of bleeps, okay? And he was so far invested in it on this thing with the game with the little boy about Telston that he looked up and kept going. And then he looked back up again and was like, oh, that's my mama, I gotta go. And the mother in me said, no, you got to check that. You got to discipline it, right? But for me, because he was rolling them off how he was rolling, I was like, somebody done taught you how to roll this.
But Farron, he saw you
Yeah.
and he stopped in that moment. And that's that line of respect right there. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he knew like, okay, yeah, I'm doing it with my friends, but my mom ain't having it quite like that.
Right. So I was like, man, do I want to? And I just had to walk off because my face, I'm really good with not, but the face always tells how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm like, Chance, why was you, why you cussing? Like trying not to laugh or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Let me just stay out of this because this ain't for me. This just not. But like you said, even same thing with Telson. You 20. I ain't saying that you can keep rolling it off, but if you're telling me a story, you can say it in that story. Because don't tell me, oh, such and such says what. No, tell me verbatim what they said. Because now I need to know. So if it's something dealing with you, tell me everything. I don't care if they called you a purple giraffe. I need to know that. I need to know. So it's like, I be classified as the cool aunt, the cool mom, and whatever goes, goes. She lets it just go. I'm just like, I mean, some things I can be out here fighting over,
Right.
fussing
Choosing
at
our
them
battles.
about. Yeah, but I mean, I ain't saying go out there and cuss the world off, but if you in that moment and you needed to, use a few colorful words, do your thing. Do you think? I ain't gonna tell. Like I have a nephew, that's my dog. That's my little nephew, that's my homie boy. When I say about a year and a half ago, he used to be rolling them things off. I used to be like, Jit, don't, don't do that. Don't do that. But it was like he knew how to just do it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I was like, you know what? I remember my nanny used to always say, if you make a big deal out of it, they're gonna keep doing it. So the minute I stopped with him, he stopped. So he kind of stopped. Now every now and again he might floor it. And I'd be like, Jit, man, chill, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because your mama hear you or somebody else hear you, they're going to beat you, Jit. Auntie Farron can't be everywhere for you now. But I don't know.
I think
He
that's what
said,
it is
child,
too, to
you
be
ain't
honest,
cool.
Farron. You know what? I think that's what it is for me to a certain degree too, because my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, two different sides of the family. My family in general, from his dad's side of the family, is totally different too, right? So it's not that he has to mask who he is, but I guess. I mean, you talked about this, offline before, like just how we talk, our kids communicate with us, people may find disrespectful because they don't understand the grounds that we have set, right? And our kids know, and we know what is considered disrespectful within our household. So I tried to prepare rants for both worlds, if that makes sense to a certain degree. And when I really think about it, you just said a story, like he has told me stories, and like, can I just say the word? I'm like, yeah, just go ahead and say the word, child, real quick. Or he'll like spell it. But sometimes I know people say I could be extreme because like even like music, they be having all the cuss words. And since he got the college honey, this thing, like I said, I already know he was speaking it and listening to it, but he came back and kind of forgot I'm in the house. But I've been choosing my battles. I'm like, it's not that serious, Morgan. But he does know, like, if I walk in a room and he hear a bunch of F words going, he'll pause what he listening to. Okay, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of respect for both of us. And what I mean by that, like, okay, dating. And I'm not gonna go too deep into my own personal life, but dating, right? I want to give my son a certain type of respect on when I was dating. And when I say dating people, I feel like dating doesn't mean you're committed. It doesn't mean that you're sleeping with a person. You're getting to know a person, right? So
Right.
dating, I never really brought anyone around my son, to be honest. But when I found myself maybe taking it to that next level, then I would bring them around, but there still had to be a line of respect, right? Like you're not rolling in my house, staying all night. No, you're gonna be on the couch to my son's home, or you could come when my son's not home, type of thing. Like those type of lines of respect. Because going back to what we said earlier. Like these kids be watching y'all. I'm not saying to live your best life, okay? But just because you had a kid, don't mean you can't live your best life as a man or a woman. But they watching.
Always.
They watching, okay? So yeah, mom is dating, but your friends may say, "Oh, your mama a hoe." No, I'm not no hoe because I ain't sleeping with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I just had a lot of respect for my son, and I want him to know, like, hey, number one, I respect myself, and I respect you too. And yes, they like a hawk. When I tell
Like,
you watching like
listen,
a hawk, like I remember one time my son was like, "Why that guy look at you?" I didn't even see the man, y'all. I didn't even see the man. He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "What?" You know. Or one time I was on the phone with my friend, and my friend does have a certain like demeanor, but that's just his personality. And my son knows him very well. But in that moment, my friend was kind of being assertive to me because I know sometimes I could kind of venture off, and he was trying to reel me back in because he was trying to take care of some business. So when we got the phone, because we was in a car and it was on, and it's recent, y'all. I mean, like within the last year before he went to college, and he looked at me and he said, "Why are he talking to you like that?" And I was like, "Okay." I had to like really, like how like my son feels a certain type of way, so I have to respect how my son feel. I'm talking about the respect part. So I was like, you know, I really had to gather like what I was going to say to him. I was like, okay. I was like, I get where you're coming from, and you have a valid point of how you feel. Now, this man wasn't cussing me, y'all, because I don't play that. Because the same way I make my son respect me, I make the man respect me too. Okay, but anyhow, so I told him, I said, that's just how he talks. I said, but you always catch him in fun times. I said, he trying to like tell me something because we take care of something, and he's trying to make sure I got it. He's like, yeah, but I don't like that. And I can't say, well, no, you can't like it. I was like, well, you know what? I only could take what you could say. We're gonna work on that. I said, but I don't want you to feel a certain type of way because I don't feel a certain type of way. So, but your valets are your feelings are valid. That's what I'm trying to say. But they watch everything, everything.
Listen, they need to hire them to find some people because I promise they'll find them. I'd be like, bro, how you even? Hello, what you got an extra pair of eyes or something that I don't know about? I remember Tulsa was probably about like 11, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to go on a date or something. He's like, oh, you can't go on dates. I said, why not? He said, because I know what boys want and I know what they all about. Okay, because I'm a transparent parent, right? I said, well, how you think you gonna get a sibling? Like, how you think this gonna work out? Because mommy can't make this magic happen or whatever. Like, it's not possible. But they do realistically watch everything. Like, they watch everything that you do, and you think about it as a child. When you was a child and you did stuff, sometimes I'd be finding myself doing stuff. I'm like, why am I? Oh, I seen my mama
Mhm.
do it this way. She ain't never say to do it this way, but I watched her do it. So it's like, oh, okay. So this is why I do it this way, or why I do it like that, or whatever. But I'd be like, bro, they better than the FBI. They better than the CIA. Like, they don't miss a beat. Do you hear me?
Not one.
They don't miss nothing. And you'd be like, okay. And I used to, like, I have a aunt. She has all boys. She has a set of twins and a single. And two of them like, listen, she's 72. They're like, let her live her best life. Let her do what she do, whatever she want to do. And the other one's like, no, she don't need nothing. I'm like, look here, bro. Your mom's 72. Okay? Let her live her best life. Let her live her best life. So now I'm stuck with boys, and I'm like, and I had to ask him, I was like, would you be okay if I date? Tell him, like, oh, yeah, you can date now. I don't care. You can do what you want to do now. Why? Because you dating and you don't care?
But you know what? Watch. If you were to do that and really start bringing, they're gonna feel a certain type of way because they do think they're our parents. They do think they're our man. And some women, once again, I'm gonna make this disclosure. I know all women don't do this with their kids, but some women make their kids feel like they're the man in the house. I never did that. I made sure he knew, no, you're a child and you just happen to be the only man that lives in this house. So yeah, I do expect you to take out the trash. We do have gender roles over here to a
Yeah,
certain
we got
degree.
a little bit of it. Yeah, you gonna take that
I
trash,
got trash
right? You
too. We both
know.
wash dishes, but it was important to me as he started growing for him to know that he was not the man, because I think when boys, especially when they solely live with their moms, they also feel like they're supposed to be the man in the house. No, be a child,
Yeah.
enjoy your childhood, but I did teach him that we're a team. And so being a team means like, hey, if all the dishes in the sink are mine and you haven't ate nothing, still wash them, because guess what? I wash them a lot of times when you're not home. Like, we're a team. I always told him that, like, there's no I in team. We're a team. So if something needs to be done, let's both do it. But I'm
Do
not asking you, and so each person's circumstances are different. I know some kids had to work to help pay bills, but I was blessed enough, and I know you said too, friend, like you have a village, right? So I was blessed enough, like you can really be a child.
it. Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for that, because I know some kids, either they took it upon themselves because they saw how their mothers or fathers struggled, especially their moms, or their moms needed them to be the man of the house because they had a bunch of other maybe kids that while she was working that they had to watch, like to sit different circumstances causes for different outcomes. But I can really say that Rance really was allowed to be a child, and I handled my business, and my family handled their business, and his dad handled his business the best way that he knew how.
Yeah, it's important to be. I tell them all the time, listen, you got 17 years to be a kid. After that, there's no turning back. There's no, and so again, and I be joking with her. I said, listen, bro, you taking this 17 years a little. We beyond the 17 years at this point. Now we got to start, whatever. But be a kid. Don't be in a hurry to grow up. Because I promise you, once you hit 18, that child stuff. No, this is no more a child. Beautiful dog said I can't use the bathroom without explain. Yeah, listen, and I remember growing up, like, because I had two sisters, my mom in the house, so it's common that you might see mom in the bathroom or whatever. Keep moving. You get to that place where you just like, yo, I don't want to. You're shy. Like I was really shy about my body because I developed fast, whatever. And so you would think, right, that having boys, you would have like, okay, great. They don't want to see this. They don't want to see that. Good, bro. What is it that y'all got to say that I just literally got to this bathroom. I've been walking around all day. You ain't said two words. The moment that you hear me close this bathroom door, you got to say something. Or they be like, why you got to close it? What do you mean when you go to the bathroom? I don't ask you why you got to close the bathroom door. So I get it. It's like, dude, y'all don't, you don't know, like, hello, like boundaries. Or if I grab my keys, I swear they be in unison. Where you going? I'm just going to my car.
Now,
And if I don't say,
mine don't ask as much as where I'm going, but I will say this, even at the age he's at, like I said, I go in the bathroom, he needs something. So the other day, I'm like, dang, I just got it here. And what he will do, which is funny now because, I guess he recognizes that there's a distinguish really between me and him, which I know he's a long time ago. He'll walk in my bathroom backwards. So he can't see me, but he still wants to talk to me or get something out my bathroom. And I was like, okay, I thought this was gonna start. This boy finna be 19, and he's still walking in my bathroom. But I love that he walked in backwards, so he wouldn't look at me. But he's like, "Oh, I ran out of deodorant. So can I use yours?" I was like, "Yes, but I need for you to go buy your own deodorant now, sir."
let me tell you something, friend. Okay, listen, I'm finna let y'all a little too close into my business, right? So the women deodorant don't work for me. So I've been faithful to using Dove, right? So everybody got their own deodorant. So I was like, I don't have to go to work off like in office or whatever. So I still use my deodorant, but I know it's lasting long because I'm not doing a lot of extra stuff. So I'm just like, and then I'm like, why does it look like it's something ain't looking right about my deodorant? I know because I turn it to make sure I don't like the flat surface. I like for it to be round or something. Well, I'm like, why is my deodorant looking like it's flattening out? Only person do that to their deodorant is Telson. I'm like, this don't make sense. I said, hey, you out of deodorant? He was like, oh yeah, I just been lazy. Look here, bro. Listen, I'm about a lot of things, but this not gonna work. He's like, well, it's for men anyway. Hey. Again. I need you to go get your own stuff. Okay. See, I was nice enough to get you when because I usually buy the 2-pack. Okay, you take one, I take one. Then I was like, nah, bro, you don't pay no bill. You don't do nothing. Go buy your own. So he went and bought some. He went and bought because when you buy the 2-pack, you get the big one. It probably was about this big Morgan. He's like, man, this stuff was like $8-9. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna need you to do is go buy yours a bulk, get out of mine. Because I don't he said he gonna tell you, he said, all right, I'm buying some. He said next time you ain't gonna know if I'm using it or not. I will, but why do you want to use my stuff? Why? So I was like, no, this can't be. And I was debating back and forth if I wanted to talk to you about that. I was like, you know what? I can't be the only mama. Like this
Listen,
not gonna be the only thing that I
you
know.
can
I
talk to me
know
about
I can't be.
anything. And for those who are on our lives, if you do have kids and you have boys and girls, these are prime examples. Like, I hear the comments saying that, well, I'm happy I got a girl because boys are this, or I'm happy I got a boy because the girl's like. Some things, not all, but some things, boys and girls are just alike, guys. Just to be honest with you, that's just my personal opinion. That's what I've noticed. But I mean, number one, I don't got no hair, so me and him didn't have to worry about the hair thing to a certain degree. But the funny thing is, I would say this: like, who initially cut my hair was his barber, but I knew his barber before he was even born. So, but we share so many products like our soap, our deodorant. We just also share lotion, and sometimes I would go get his lotion. Sometimes he would get mine, but he also has eczema, so I really wouldn't let him use my like Bath and Body Works lotion. But honey, these kids, they don't care if you male or female. They use your stuff, guys. They use your stuff.
They use it. Like they don't. Only thing I can say that I am 100% sure they're not gonna use is my toothbrush and my girly stuff. Other than
Yes,
that, it's like, yo, I'm sorry. I don't understand why you didn't get that for yourself. Now the 9-year old, okay, I got it. You ain't got it in your possession to do things like that. But you over here, I don't understand. I'm sorry. You got your own lotion. What are we doing? I'll be making a joke because
100%.
I'm like, hey, my soap is my soap. This ain't community soap. Like, don't let me catch you with my soap, right? So now he tried to be slick. Cause I called him the other day. He tried to be slick. I said, hey, y'all got y'all soap, right? This not community soaps. Leave my bar of soap alone. But he tried to be so slick. He'll go in there try. I said, dude, you don't think I know my soap missing? You don't think I know it's missing? Yeah, figure it out. You don't think I know when I walk past that bathroom, I smell it that you're using my soap? So now what I'll do, because I use the Dove soap, I'll switch up the fragrance and the scents and stuff. Why you buy that stuff? That smells like a girl. But you still using it,
So
right?
you don't use it.
You
That's the
still
point.
using it. You still using it, right? You just need to use. No, what you need to do is lead a. This is not community soap. You have your own soap. I don't understand it. Like I
Too
don't.
funny.
I don't know. I don't know. I was just like, I know I cannot be the only parent. I refuse to think it's just me as a parent going through these motions with them.
No, I think all kids, like I said, no matter what sex they are, if it's ours, they feel like it's theirs type of thing. And maybe they feel that way because we kind of feel that way to a certain degree. But we are coming up on an hour. I just want to kind of recap a couple of little things, and then if you don't want to keep going, we can. But this is Boy Oh Boy. This is episode 1. Farron is a mom of 2. I'm a mom of 1. We only have boys. And talk about boys, I have friends who mainly all have boys. I don't know how that happened. I promise you. My best friend has a girl though, but literally, like all my close friends and coworkers, they all have boys. No lie, and they all come in different ages. And so that community for me started a long time ago. This isn't something new to me, but it's new as far as being on social media, live sharing my boy mom experiences and just parenting in general. And I've learned from so many people. I tell them I learned from so many of my girlfriends and their parenting. Because I said earlier that I took old school, new school, and kind of did a little bit of both to try to raise rants. But yeah, this is a platform where Farron invited me to share with you guys. I was kind of doing my own thing on my page. She was doing her own thing, and we decided to go ahead and collab.
I mean, after you said it like that, we ain't got nothing else to say. We could pass the plate. The benediction has been done. But no, all jokes aside, though, listen, man, I couldn't have picked a better person to do this with, right? Y'all see how free she is. She ain't scared to have a conversation, and that's important to me. Not only that, I feel like it's a good thing combination of us because yeah, we have boys similar the same age, but they're on 2 different paths and 2 different things. So Morgan will be able to tell you, hey, what it's like being a mom, but also being a mom to a child that's in college. And not just any college, FAMU. Like, sorry, BCU people. But anyway, but listen, I'm excited about this. This is just episode 1, just kind of introduction. We are kind of free spirit people. We don't kind of stay within the guidelines. So if you're looking for something that's going to be structured, like, hey, this, that. No, only thing we're going to be structured about is that time. All we got is about an hour for y'all, give or take. That's it. Okay. But I'm excited to see what's to come. We got, with the next episode, we'll bring them on for you guys. We got to work with the older kids because they got their own lives. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, send us some love. I appreciate your comments and everything in there. Keep them coming. Remember, if you're not following us, if your friends not following us, please follow us. Please follow us. But thank y'all for y'all time. This has been fun, Morgan.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. because being a boy mom, you don't get a lot of time, a lot of downtime and free time. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, so don't look for us next week because we got to get Rance and get Chance back to school, and we got things to do. But I promise you, we're gonna take note. We're gonna tell y'all the experiences that we had getting ready for school, and all that great stuff. And we'll have them. Hopefully, that we can get the schedules combined. If not, we'll get something creative to do. But we really do appreciate you guys coming on, taking an hour out your life. We can't give it back, but I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good night, Morgan.
You
Let me
too,
see.
ma'am. And make sure you save it and put it on your reels.
Hold on, friend. I got to figure out how to save it
I
now.
know you will. You'll see it at the end, friend.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye.